In this video, I'll be talking about feedback in the ESL classroom. I'll explain why feedback is such a valuable tool in language teaching, as well as where, when, and how to provide effective and meaningful feedback to encourage and motivate your students. Students have come to you to learn and improve their English speaking abilities. Therefore, it's vital for them to be given feedback in the classroom. While all students expect feedback, it's often overlooked by teachers, which can leave students feeling frustrated. They want praise and affirmation that they're on the right track, and they want constructive criticism on how to improve. Feedback is a huge part of what makes the learning process meaningful and rewarding for students. It helps them recognize their progress and feel that they're moving forward. Giving good, regular feedback will also help you build rapport with your students. Effective and meaningful feedback can help you and your students in many ways. Firstly, feedback builds confidence. Who doesn't like a compliment? Feedback can provide an incentive for students to work harder or have a go at activities in class. Feedback done well can remove the fear of making mistakes, and giving frequent and generous feedback to your students, even when they're not quite right, teaches them that your class is a safe place to try out and practice their skills. Feedback helps you build relationships with your students. Giving regular and supportive feedback can help you build trust and rapport with them. Feedback can add atmosphere to your classroom. Giving loud, enthusiastic and passionate feedback or encouraging students to cheer for one another creates a sense of excitement and lifts the mood in your class. Giving feedback can provide an opportunity to inject humour into your class by doing something silly like an excited dance for a student. Feedback can also be useful to manage your classroom. Get students focused on a task by rewarding success with positive and enthusiastic feedback, awarding points or tokens such as gold stars for good performance. Use feedback to reward and encourage the inclusion and encouragement of less vocal students. And don't forget that feedback goes both ways. While your students might not verbally tell you what they think of your teaching, you can watch their reactions to you and your activities to get a sense of their engagement and satisfaction. Especially when feedback is done as a formative assessment, it highlights to the teacher which areas the students are struggling with and possibly areas where their teaching can be improved, and also shows the areas that students have understood and which were probably explained clearly by the teacher. This can help the students and the teacher identify areas of strength and areas for improvement. Try to give feedback immediately. Reward students straight away by providing their feedback then and there in the class as soon as they perform well. Sometimes you might feel that a student needs some more intensive feedback. It might be best to wait until after the class and talk one-on-one with the student, especially if it's something sensitive like a poor test result or addressing some undesirable behaviours in class. It's better to deliver this kind of thing away from students' peers. Here are some tips for giving effective feedback. First, give feedback equally. Avoid praising only your favourite students and make sure you share your attention and enthusiasm around the whole class. Use a mix of feedback approaches. This could be verbal well done to a physical high five or other gestures. Your students are going to enjoy the experience if you mean what you say. Vary your feedback. Keep a range of feedback terms and gestures in your back pocket. Repeating the same phrase to every student, good job, good job, good job, might make you sound rehearsed or insincere. Give enthusiastic congratulations. Invite the class to applaud, high fives, thumbs up, stars on the board, and personalize your feedback even more by using students' names to really make them feel special. Be sincere, mean what you say. This should be easy if you're invested in the success of your students, and if you're not, why not? Keep your feedback overwhelmingly positive. Where you can't praise a student's performance, praise their effort or improvement. For example, that's great grammar. Remember to pronounce the ED sound at the end of the word because this can affect the meaning. Try a feedback sandwich approach where you use positive, then negative, then positive feedback. For example, your vocab use was awesome. Some really interesting words in there. Be careful when talking about past events to use the past simple verb, but the rest of your grammar structures are clear and concise. Feedback can happen anywhere and at any time. How many opportunities can you create in your class to provide feedback for your students?